Today, we're going to be talking about how to be making gold in New World once the game comes out. It's a question on everybody's mind. I'm KingRaliant, and I'm here to bring out you another video to try and hopefully help you out in New World. A lot of these topics are going to be something that's going to be self-explanatory, I feel like, to a certain degree. However, this is supposed to be something for early on, so it's going to be more so focused on what part of that category that you're actually using in order to make that early game gold. I'm going to be pinpointing specific things that will help you give you that advantage. So getting right down to the nitty gritty, the first and foremost best way for you to be making gold early on, it sounds kind of dumb and it sounds kind of self-explanatory, but it's going to be quests. The reason for this is because there's not going to be really much you can do early on, and the quests are going to be giving you some gold along with the side quests that you will be doing along the way. In general, this is normally how most MMORPGs have always existed, with the gold being given to you early on through the quest. It's really going to be no different with New World. However, there is something I do want to tell you. I don't necessarily call it a secret, but something I did come across and notice during the betas. And that is something that will give you a very early on economical advantage. This coming from two herbs, the Revercrest and the Petal Caps. Now, here's the reason why I say this. There is a main story quest that requires you to obtain the Azoth staff, but in order to do so, you have to bring the main quest giver some mats. Well, the two of those mats are the Rivercrest and the Petal Caps. The reason why I bring this in here correlated to the quest making part of gold on how it can give you an advantage is because when I was going through the beta, almost every single time I saw multiple listings of both of these herbs from anywhere from 100 to 200 gold pieces. If you're in the mood to where day one, you just want to farm out as much as you can, you don't want to level, and you just want to get your harvesting up and make as much gold, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people will pay for that convenience. It's going to be a great way for you to be able to make a lot of gold early on. And when I say early, I mean like the first 24 hours of the game being launched. However, this probably will die off at some point and transition into something else. So it's one of those things where you got to strike the metal while the metal is hot. Crafting and gathering. The three biggest things that I think you should focus on from crafting and gathering that are going to be able to give you the biggest bang for your buck are going to be tools, potions, and bags. The reason for tools is because a lot of people are going to want to just buy the newest upgraded set of tools instead of trying to work on getting their engineering up at the workshop in order to be able to craft those tools. They'd rather just go out and just be farmers and gatherers and buy the set of tools from the trading post. Therefore, they're going to have some value to them. Again, this is going to be something that's going to be early on, but this is going to go all the way to the very top end tools using star metal that people are going to pay a very pretty penny for. And I am talking in the thousands. Now, bags is another thing. With bags, they can have stats put on them. Now, when I was going to the betas, I saw these selling from anywhere from 500 to 700 gold, sometimes even more. And the big reasoning for that is because they give you such a huge boost to your inventory. I remember playing World of Warcraft, tailorers would make a crap ton of gold when the new bags would come out. That would increase your bag slot by like 2 slots. But we're talking thousands of gold. So again, this will eventually plateau out and die down in value, but get in while it's hot, okay? Otherwise, you are going to miss this opportunity and you're not going to be able to get the biggest bang for that. Basically, all of these categories in this video, they're all kind of spiderwebbed and connected to one another as one big clump way of making gold. They're all linked, okay? The third thing is going to be potions. The potions are going to be something that you can use for the town board faction quest, but most importantly, a lot of people are going to want those potions just to help them for the questing. I know me, for example, I was going to the trading post, constantly buying out those potions because I just didn't feel like crafting 10 of them. I felt like buying a bulk of 50 of them just to help me stay alive, especially when I got down to the dungeon area. I'm not going to be the only person to do that, okay? I'm a min-maxer. I'm like a speedrun guy. I want to race to the end, so therefore I will pay for that convenience. And a lot of other people will do the same, especially within the first few days, if not the first week of the launch. Capitalize on that. Go get those potions. Just make sure you're not using some ingredients that you would use for potions that would give you a more increased profit from doing it in other places. For example, if Revercrest and Petal Caps go into potions, don't sell those into potions. Sell those ingredients by themselves because of that main story quest I told you. That's probably going to last for about a good week. Now, town board missions. This is one of those things where I mentioned people will pay for the convenience. A lot of these quests are go gather this, go craft this, go get me this material, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is where a lot of the gatherers are going to be able to make a decent amount of money, and crafters for that matter. With you putting all of these requirements up on the trading post, people are going to grab these quests, go to the trading post, they're going to buy the materials they need, they're going to come back, complete their quest, and they're going to rinse and repeat that every 30 minutes. That means you basically have every 30-minute residual income if you are supplying the majority of those requirements that those quests are going to ask for. Take advantage of that. Don't lose out on that. That's something that will probably last for longer than, say, the first few days or a week, but it will definitely average out because everyone's going to be doing that. And to be fair, a lot of those requirements that the quest asks for aren't anything really big. There's a few things that people don't want to bother their time with. Everything else is going to be pretty easily obtainable. It's just time because everyone's racing to the end. I know I will be. Now we get into the item. Once you get around to the first dungeon, Emerine excavation, that you'll be unlocking, you will start to see that there's more dungeons along the way throughout the game. Dungeons can give you items, and some of those items aren't just going to be automatically bound to you. You can sell those. Things that people are going to want are going to be more so focused around what their stat priority is. So if you're selling stuff to a strength-based character and you have strength-based gear and they all coincide and meet the criteria perfectly, that's going to be a really good hit of an item for you to sell on the trading post. You are taking advantage of the fact that people will pay for convenience. That's the real secret of how you get a lot of gold early on launch. The dungeons are going to give you those items, and eventually when you get to portals and other dungeons along those lines, when you get higher up, you're going to start getting epic items or purples. Those are going to be another good situation where if you can get those early on, you can make a big bank killing. I remember seeing from multiple launches in WoW, whenever there was a BOE epic, people would pay out of the wazoo for these, and for very good reason, because normally they would give you a significant advantage when it came to your stats. So that's something to keep in mind if you come across that. Now this one's more focused at still for something that's going to last throughout the entirety of the game, in my opinion, but it's still something to get in on when the getting's good, and that's going to be jewelry. Okay, like I said, ideal for endgame because people are going to be rushing it. One thing, for example, right, is going to be like Constitution gems. That's going to be a really good gem for you to probably focus and try and sell because it's so widely used for across the board for all of the builds. It's not just, oh, this only works for melee or this only works for this. Especially for PvPers, they're going to want to get a certain stat of Constitution. PvPers are not going to go just straight damage stat. It's not going to happen because they're going to be super squishy and they're going to get looked at and they're going to fall over. So therefore what you're doing is if you can get in on early on that, you're going to be profiting off of the fact that the supply is low and the demand is high. Now again, eventually Constitution gems are going to become a dime a dozen. So you're going to have to want to do this early. So I would say after about the first week, maybe get away from the Constitution gems and start looking at things like pure stats for the rings. That's going to be a big thing for you to take advantage of because of min-maxers. Min-maxers are going to look at the trading post. They're going to be, I need a ring that's got nothing but the best strength stats because I'm already 60 and I'm pushing this stuff with my friends or my company and I need to get this now. So, and that's going to be end game kind of content, but I could be wrong in that, and Constitution gems could just stay really good for the entirety. That could just be something that's the demand is so high that the supply will never meet the demand. So the trading post. This is my final little item. This very much so speaks for itself. It's the auction house, it's the marketplace, it's the trading post. It's where you go to sell your crap and have people buy said crap. The thing with this though is you need to utilize all the previous categories that I just spoke to you about with the trading posts. This is why I said they're all kind of connected like one big spider web, because the majority of this stuff is going to be sold on the trading post if you're still wanting to progress through the game, and it can give you the opportunity of possibly cornering a market if you want to do something specific. For example, the river crests and the petal caps. If you want to corner that market the first couple days because that main story quest, go for it. You're going to probably make a crap ton of gold from it. But the thing is, the trading post is going to be the place to utilize that. This is a very important thing to remember with the trading post, guys. In fact, if I could make my voice say something in bold, oh wait, hold on, I can just have text appear and have this show it and flashing in your front of your face and be very bold, so that way you do not forget this. Trading posts are unique to their own cities and are not connected. Okay, remember that. This is one of the biggest things about the trading post category that you will be able to use to a full advantage, because if you want to corner a market, you are going to corner that city. If you want to be the First Light person, you're the First Light Constitution gem seller. If you want to be the Monarch's Bluff fisherman seller, you're the Monarch's Bluff fisherman seller. But you're only going to be able to do that if you keep consistent with it and you utilize that trading post and you stay in that area. I don't know if this will stay a good thing or if they should eventually connect them all together. I'm a little in between on that, especially because of the territory control. It might be one of those things where maybe that's the reason why they're disconnected. But please do not forget that concept. I saw a lot of people comments in the global chat during the beta and this really costs them a lot of time and a lot of potential income. Continuing on with the trading post, this is something that's been tried and true throughout MMORPGs. Buy low, sell high. If you're going to try and corner a market, you're going to do so by focusing on that item, buying out whenever people list them, and then selling them for the price that you determine. Yes, you're monopolizing it at that point, but it's an MMORPG, and it's usually how they've always worked like that. And usually early on, that's what happens, because eventually the supply always overtakes the demand. So you end up getting competition to where you won't be able to corner as hard. And usually you start sharing it with a few other guys who are focused on that too. This is a little bit of a thing that has multiple meanings, but especially for stuff like this, be observative. Look around in chat. Look what people are asking for a lot. You know, pay attention to the forum, the Reddit, Discords, wherever you get your information. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for what people actually are desiring and want to buy. It's no different than anything else. If you want to supply something, you have to make sure the demand is there. If you're supplying something that the demand is not there for, no one's going to buy it. And if they are, it's going to be far and few between. So take advantage of when people are all on board for something, go find that and sell that. That's going to be a very, very good way, especially early on, because people are going to be asking in global chat left and right, hey, I need this. Hey, I need that. To go back to my Rivercrest and Petal Cap conversation, that's why I mentioned that. Because that's going to be something I feel like the demand is going to be so high for, because some people are going to forget to farm that material. It's just going to happen. So what are they going to do? They're going to go to the trading post. Boom, you just made some gold. All in all, there's something I want you guys to remember with this. The whole guide is basically based around two things: relatability and saving. The relatability comes to the fact that all of these categories relate with one another and how they can make gold. They reinforce each other one way or another. The second thing is time is money. This same principle applies where you can have a player with different goals who will happily purchase an item because it allows them to stay focused on that goal by saving them so much time. I hope you guys got something out of this. If you did, I really appreciate it if you guys would click that like button, click the subscribe, ring the ding dong. We will be posting videos quite frequently, and I will be live streaming the launch and continuing my live stream. If you want to check that out, the description down is below. On top of the Twitch link, you will also see the Discord. If you guys are looking for a company, we are starting one on North American East. It's the best time to get in. We're looking for people of all interests. If you want a PvP, if you want a PvE, if you want to do live skill, there's going to be a spot for you. We'll figure it out from there. We're growing. We want to see you join, and it'd be a good time. But most of all, be sure to share some good vibes. Stay shiny.